Hi, my name is Alan Tsao, and I help students master AP Physics 1. Today I want to talk about what to do when you are struggling in AP Physics 1. What are some tips? What are some tricks? What you can do? There are no shortcuts in life, but I can give you some advice as to what might be helpful. So first of all, you got to evaluate what's going wrong. So in order to do well in AP Physics 1, you do have to have clear instruction. You have to have a good foundation. You have to understand some of the core things that are happening. And if you don't understand, if like your knowledge of physics is a bunch of equations and plugging things in, that's not going to be a core foundation. That's not going to be something about which you can build how to solve problems. Okay? The second thing is when you are practicing problems, you're looking for patterns. We've talked about how the importance of a process when you are solving problems. Okay? So what you're looking for is a methodology by which you're going to break down the problem. If the methodology is, I practice a problem, so if I see a similar problem next time, I know what to do, that isn't going to work. Because especially in AP Physics 1, they're notorious for trying to have you see scenarios that you haven't seen before. Oftentimes, when I look at the free response questions, when I look at the multiple choice, a lot of times the difficult ones are the ones that they're unique scenarios. It's like, I've never seen a practice problem like that. I've never done a scenario quite like that before. So it's really important that you understand what it is that you're doing when you're solving a problem. And the last part is to ask questions, is to really seek out help. I get a lot of students who are really like focused on, I gotta figure everything out myself. I want to figure everything out myself. Guess what? In life, when you're solving big problems, when you're doing a job, when you're having a career, no one cares if you do it by yourself. The only people care about is whether or not you can solve that problem, whether you can figure it out. And if you have a problem in AP Physics 1, you don't get extra cookies just because you do it by yourself and don't ask for help. Who cares, right? Who's going to give you a gold star for that? Fantastic, you did it by yourself. But what's the point? Your goal is not to do it by yourself. Your goal is to get a handle on the material, do well in the class. So you got to reach out, make sure you're asking good questions to the right people and getting the right feedback on your work. Otherwise, it's going to take longer for you to master. I know some of you are very ambitious. You're going to study on your own. You're going to work hard at it. And some of you will succeed. A lot of you won't, though, with that model. And maybe it's not AP Physics 1, maybe it's later down the line. There's going to be something that's difficult for you to do. And you're going to want help. You're going to want someone to help guide you along the way. And if you're just focusing on like, well, I'm just going to do it all on my own, you're not going to be set up for success. If you're just going to focus on trying to do what you can by yourself, that's not a recipe for success. So those are kind of the main ideas. I know it's probably not as easy as like go take a bunch of test problems, go do practice a bunch of problems, stuff like that, right? That advice honestly doesn't work very well. It's not good advice. You have to have a structure in place. You have to have a strategy on how you're going to do better in the class. How are you going to do better? And you could hire a tutor, right? That's fine, as long as you're still sticking to that process and getting a result. You're being able to ask questions and engage and work in that way. Maybe you go to their teacher's office hours, but the people who show up and ask questions, the people who seek out help, those are the people who are going to have much better chance of success in college, much better chance in the future.